Sweet Bay Lane, I'm Tracy. And in my last video, I shared with you one of my favorite crafting supplies is wood. And rapidly climbing that list are wood cutouts, and particularly wood letters. In this simple yet stunning craft project, I've combined the two and thought I would share the making process with you in the hopes it gives you the confidence to make one of your own. So let's go ahead and get started. Here you'll see the supplies I'm using for this project. First are my letters, which are HME, and to replace the O, I am using this fun wreath from Hobby Lobby. The paint colors I've chosen are an espresso brown and white by Anitas, and a Key West blue along with the elephant gray by Apple Barrel. Another unconventional supply that I'm using is an unscented white wax candle, along with your standard sanding block. And last but not least, the base of my project is a 1x12 measuring 36 inches long. I'm excited to get this project started. I start with a base coat of the gray paint. Once that's dried completely, I come in with my white candle and I rub the board down completely, top and sides. I then come in with my white paint and give it one solid coat. I set it aside to dry and I start prepping my letters. Now to prep the letters, I paint all three letters a dark espresso brown, and once the brown layer is dried completely, I come in with that Key West blue. And once my letters are dried, I just come in with my sanding block and I just distress and rough up the edges of each letter. And now that my letters have been sanded, I set them aside and I move back to my base piece. The base piece, remember, has been painted and waxed, and I give it a little bit of distressing with my sanding block, and as you'll see, the paint just comes right off of that wax surface and it gives it a distressing that is very, very unique. Okay, now I'm moving on to the really fun part of this project, and that's assembling it. There's two tips that I would share that will make you successful when using and working with wood letters. The first tip is to go ahead and start with the first letter and the last letter. Once you get those even, everything else falls in place. Okay, once everything's in place, I then start attaching the letters and the wreath. Now, remember the 2 tips. You always start from the outside letter, the first letter, and then the last letter. So I will attach the H first, and then I go and I attach my E. And then everything in the middle should be smooth to attach and keep everything even. And you'll see now why the blue painter's tape marking it comes in so handy. That way you don't have to think about it and you just glue it and stick it down and you know exactly where you want those letters to go. Because trust me, I've learned the hard way that if you don't do that, you're going to have all wonky letters. Okay, once I have my letters glued down, I move on to the wreath. And the wreath is very easy. You just flip it over and you add the hot glue. Just make sure you work fast with your hot glue. That's one of the reasons I love the Gorilla Glue, because it stays hotter for longer, so you have a little bit of wiggle room, unlike other hot glues. And once it's covered in hot glue, you just flip it over and you secure it down. I just love how this home sign turned out, and I hope it inspires you to make one of your own. Thank you so much for watching, and just remember that kindness and a smile goes a very long way.